Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening on your beautiful Valentine's Friday? Hope everyone's having a day filled with love. Because the Tom Gulley Show soon will be making another run. The Tom Gulley Show promises something for everyone. Starring the wolf as Isaac, the bartender. We'll see who gets to be Gopher. Dr. Bricker. Wolf says, I am the mad mixer. That's why you're Isaac, the bartender. Anyway, tonight I'm going to tell you a lot of things because once again, it's another edition, the 18th edition, as a matter of fact, of Overrated, Underrated here on the Tom Gulley Show, the internet sensation that's sweeping the nation. And we will rate whether things are overrated or underrated tonight in our special Valentine's Day edition. An edition filled with love. And by the way, we would love it if you would like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. All those free things you can do don't cost you a cent that help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm. Man, come on. It's just a click. It's all it takes, and we need it bad. You know, we have super chats. We have memberships. In case you were wondering what to get me for Valentine's Day, I'm just saying. Helps us pay the bills around here. And by the way, in the spirit of love and Thanksgiving, and not just Thanksgiving, but Valentine's Day, I get them mixed up sometimes. People will gift memberships around here. They'll just give them out. So turn on your gifted memberships. It tells how in that little scroll at the bottom of the screen. And somebody might just give you the gift of a Tom Gulley Show membership. Speaking of love, and I mean love, here's a guy that's been married for over 30 years. And there's got to be at least 3 years of love in there, right, Terry? Terry, thank you for being a member for 9 months. It's been great having you here every single day. Well, most every single day. And we do love having you here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see what we've got here. Doopa-doopa-doo. We love her as well. She says hi to me and Gilman and Wolf. You know why she did that? Because we have the most cheerful chat room on the internet, as verified by independent sources. So people saying hi is pretty common around here. People saying hi. People saying hi. Jean1313 is here. We love her too. A big Valentine's Day kiss to the best chat and show. Thank you so much, Jean. Gilman, people saying hi, people saying hi, people saying hi, people saying hi. Terry Nee, 30 years of marriage, happily married for 5 years. Boom, psh. People saying hi. Julian Caesar says, it's cheap and easy to become Tom Gulley's member. Cheap and easy does indeed describe my member. And it's only $2.99 a month. You know, we provide the most top quality entertainment you can find on the internet for less than the leading brand. So check that out. Gene1313, people saying hi. Dupa says, Terry Nee, no stuttering John jokes allowed. Well, I hope Stuttering John finds love this evening. Maybe a fake trip to Jamaica with a fake girlfriend. You know what I mean? Terry Nee is sorry. So very, very sorry. People saying hi, and people laughing at Terry Nee, which happens super frequently on this program. As your Captain Steubing, your Captain Merrill Steubing, your Gavin McLeod. He's dead, by the way. I looked it up before the show. I think Bernie Capel is dead as well. I know Ted Lang is still alive, and I know Lauren, however she pronounces her last name, Julie, is also still alive. Although she was coking it pretty bad there, and they had to kick her off the show. Sorry, did I harsh out anybody's Valentine's Day? Hey, why don't we get to overrated, underrated for Valentine's Day? Shall we? The internet sensation that's sweeping the nation. We're going to take you through the steps. I am going to escort you on Valentine's Day through the many rituals, the many traditions, the many stages of Valentine's Day love. And yeah, so there. Gavin McLeod is a great sounding name, doesn't it? McLeod. Julian Caesars says, hi, Tom. Hi, everybody else. The Wolf says, why do we do it? Because old Tom needs the money. That's why. If you didn't grow up in Indianapolis or the area during the 70s, you don't know what that means. But if you did, you're laughing your little tuchus off right now. The Wolf says, roller skater Texas girl is here. By the way, it's the fake roller skater Texas. It's not really her. Doop-a-doop-a-doo says, RBTG. I don't know what that means, but I've seen roller skater Texas girl in the interim. It's not her. It's a fake. I was faked out yet again. Anyway, let's get to overrated, underrated for your Valentine's Day. Item number 1 tonight on our special Valentine's Day themed edition of Overrated, Underrated is flowers. Flowers, traditionally a dozen roses, but it could be any bouquet of flowers. Any bouquet of flowers, but flowers. Giving the flowers. Incidentally, you might notice that much of the stages of Valentine's Day love fall upon the guy. Because you're apparently just supposed to deluge your lady love with free stuff. I don't know if it's totally free. You find out if it's free at the end of the night. At the end of the night, you find out if indeed there will be an exchange of goods and services. Gene says it's overrated. Flowers are overrated. Overrated. They die. I don't give my ladies things that will die. Predominantly. Terry Nee says underrated. The wife still loves roses. Well, Terry, I respect you for doing whatever you can. The Wolf says in this day and age, overrated. Yes, Doopa-doopa-doo says flowers outside, underrated. Flowers inside, overrated. You watch them slowly die. These are inside flowers, so I'm going overrated. I mean, really, it would be a better gift if somebody was out front with a little hand trowel planting roses or a rose bush that would last for decades with the proper care. Instead, man, they're going to clip you for at least $50, right? We should start adding up what all this runs a fella. I have gotten gifts and things, very minor, very not often, from ladies over the years. Gilman says overrated, and my wife agrees. I'm putting 2 overrateds there. Hey, Gilman, tell your wife she was part of the voting. The Wolf says, why dupa? He had just added a little sugar. Julian Caesar says flowers are a test. If they press the flowers between the pages of a book and keep them for years, they're underrated. You know what? I actually do happen to agree with that. If they're cherished, but if they're just, I'm going to put them in a vase. See, I classed up the show by saying that instead of vase. If they put them in a vase and then just watch the water turn that sort of yellowy, and then cut them at an angle, and then like a week later, where'd those flowers go? Oh, I had to throw them out. You didn't make potpourri out of them or anything else? And yes, Julian, that is a very good point. Speaking of the point, Just like to remind you for this Valentine's Day that all super chats and gifted memberships will receive the highly coveted Point, the Tom Gulley Point graphic. There we go. Let's get back to those flowers. Close up on the flowers real quickly while I do math. Not hard to do on this one. We are going to deem item number 1 flowers, specifically in this case, usually a dozen roses. There was a while there people were giving out carnations, and then there's all the colors of the flowers that you have to know and remember. You know, red flowers are for lovers, and white flowers are for friendship, and the yellow flowers are for... Yeah, I get it. You're not just going to hose me on one kind of flower. It's got to be a whole, electromagnetic spectrum of flowers. The whole Roy G. Biv. So we've deemed item number 1, flowers, a dozen roses, overrated for Valentine's Day. Item number 2 is, of course, chocolates. Now, just before the wolf says anything, we are going to exclude pervitine-coated chocolates for the purposes of Valentine's Day. I know usually on this show we do everything we can to involve pervitine, but not today. Not today. These are the sorts of chocolates that you might find in a box. Sometimes they are a chocolate-covered piece of fruit. Sometimes they are a delicious nougat or whatever whipped-up thing that's in the side of those very, very exactingly crafted chocolates. But the second thing is candy, chocolates. Item number 2 on our Valentine-themed episode of Overrated, Underrated. Let's see, now that explosive PowerPoint is way underrated. Give cupcakes with flour icing. Well, that's a good suggestion, but it is not valid for the purposes of our voting here, Julian. You know what? I'm in a very charitable mood since it is a day of love. So I'm going to go ahead and count that, and I'm going to say that would be underrated then. If you're saying give them. Let's see here. Dupa is smiling. Terry Nee says that the chocolates are overrated. Towns says, let's go. Well, thank you, Towns. Towns, by the way, we are rating for Valentine's Day chocolates. The coach is here. He says chocolates are underrated. Well, Terry Nee says underrated the day after Valentine's Day, 70% off. And on Halloween, by the way, I might add. Dupa says chocolate is underrated. However, the Hershey Highway is overrated. I think that depends on whether you're the highway or whether you're the car. If you know what I mean, Dupa. If you know what I mean. I hope you don't. The wolf says, no good for nothing northern trash. How dare you exclude German chocolate, you no good son of a gun. I don't know if that means overrated or underrated. That's a push. Coach Mike Rodick says, good evening to all my friends in chat. Oh, hey, Tom. Hey, Tom. Terry Nee says, Dupa, I'm often on the Hershey Park Highway. He lives in Pennsylvania, kid. Guys, don't take it the wrong way. Don't take it the wrong way. Right now, underrated. Chocolate is underrated, according to you, the viewers of the Tom Gulley Show. Let's see here. People saying hi. People saying hi. Hi. We'll accept your final votes here for just the very next little bit. People saying hi, by the way. The very next little bit, we'll take your votes here. Fudge is underrated. I'm counting that as an underrated. Boy, this is not going the way I thought. I failed to estimate properly people's love of chocolate. Dupa says hello. People saying hi. And I really thought if they're not coating pervitine, what good are they? However, you You find people have decided that item number 2 tonight on our Valentine's Day themed episode of Over Underrated, it's underrated. It's underrated. Chocolates are underrated. Item number 3 that a gentleman has to shower the object of his affection with. Oh, Terry says that looks like chocolate-covered ice cream. Well, it's not. That's a butterscotch, very light butterscotchy thing, I think. Anyway. Item number 3 tonight on Overrated, Underrated would be yes, jewelry. Jewelry. He went to Jared. Jewelry. Is it overrated or underrated? Now, I don't care what you guys think about this. Well, I care, but regardless of what you think, I do give jewelry because, as Julian Zezer was mentioning earlier, jewelry is something that lasts forever. And it can be very personal. It can be very distinct. It can be very expensive. It can be unique. So jewelry. The Wolf says, I know it sounds completely crazy, but even without German chocolate, we love L.A. I think Randy Newman wrote a song about that. Jewelry. Underrated. My wife loves cheap jewelry. No worries. Okay, cheap jewelry. You know, a lot of times it's not the expense of the jewelry. It's like if you can tell them, oh, I got this in a little shop. It was imported from Romania. If you can build a story, it doesn't have to run you 4 figures. You can get in, get out. Also, there's a lot of like thematic jewelry that's not that expensive. It's like the fun of it is the theme. So keep all of that in mind. Overrated or underrated jewelry. And let's just get out our little jeweler's, spyglass looking thing. There it is, jewelry. And if you'll notice, I assembled this one with a little heart jewelry in the middle. Yes. I'm that classy. The coach says jewelry overrated except special occasions, not Valentine's Day. Well, that's an interesting take. When I lived in Indianapolis in Broad Ripple, there was a little tiny import shop down the block from where I lived. It was very small, and it was just, the inside of it was just festooned with all these imported things, one of which was this little leather handbag that was from Greece that, and the little card that came with it, man, if a little card comes with something, ladies go mental for a little card. I swear to you. But this little card said that over the years that this little handbag would start to weather and age and absorb oils and things and whatever and become, because it looked brand new. And I'll be damned if a couple years later, this thing looked absolutely fabulous. One of the best gifts I've ever gotten. And I filled it up with imported jewelry. By the way, on that particular occasion, Valentine's Day, I would say for me was a push because, yes, there was quite an extensive exchange of gifts and goods and services, trade kind of thing. Terry Nee says, honey, I carried this necklace up my... Took us for 5 years until I was freed. He's a little callback there from Pulp Fiction. I carried this uncomfortable necklace, and your grandfather hid it up his ass. Anyway, Dupa says, underrated. I love jewelry, but I think a wedding ring is a racket. I never want to worry about losing something worth that much. I understand. The Wolf says, I only like Tourmaline and turquoise, underrated. Well, okay. If you're getting the wolf some jewelry, please keep that in mind. Julian Caesar says 3 Samoans got the bends diving for these pearls. Now, see, you build a backstory. Julian Caesar, you're a man after my own heart. You build a backstory that makes the pearls seem even more, you know what I mean? Wolf says, when you mention bags, are you including carpet bags? Well, a lot of them like carpet bags made a comeback a few years ago. Carpet bags were very popular. Doopadoo said, Wolf, I can totally see you rocking the Tourmaline and turquoise. No pun intended. Overrated or underrated jewelry before I close out the voting. And then where will we be? Who would be Gopher? I'm leaning towards Terry Nee. I really am. I really am. I'm thinking Dupa has to be Julie, the cruise director. And maybe Jean 1313 can be Meryl Stubing's daughter after Julie got kicked off the show for booger sugar. Nose candy. All right. Well, if we're getting no other votes, I'm afraid I'm going to have to close the voting on item number 3 tonight, jewelry. And jewelry also is underrated. I never would have thought that. I would have thought overrated, but I give it because it lasts forever. I give out jewelry and consumer electronics. That's what says love forever. Dupa says nobody wants to be Gopher, and she laughs, but Gopher actually became a congressman after he left the show, so keep that in mind. Terry Nee says it took 3 Samoans till one finally reached the surface without being consumed by great whites. Even better story. You keep adding to this story forever. I think Gopher was a congressman from Iowa, and I do believe that he shared Terry Nee's political affiliation. So Terry Nee would make a great Gopher, I think. I really do. I like the episodes where Gopher would fall in love with a hot chick. Those are my favorite ones. Well, they're all my favorite. You know, there's a Love Boat channel. There's like channel that streams Love Boat all day, every day, nonstop. And why wouldn't they? It was on the air for a long time. I'm getting a vision in my head, a cloudy apparition I'm sensing there might be a Tom Gulley episode about the Love Boat next week. I don't know why I feel that way, but I do. Anyway, jewelry has been deemed underrated by the most important people in the world, and that, of course, is the viewers of the Tom Gulley Show. Item number 4 tonight, as we work our way through Valentine's Day and its stages. Oh, yeah, you got to go out to the fancy dinner. The fancy dinner, overrated or underrated? You have to have the fancy dinner. Reservations in advance. Dupe is saying Love Boat channel. What the? Yeah, if you have like Roku TV or Google Chromecast or any of the streaming services that have live also streaming, not just on demand. Yeah, there's a Love Boat channel. 24/7 Love Boat. And I have to tell you, it was probably about a year ago. Man, I went a whole weekend and did nothing but watch the Love Boat because the Love Boat had all those great stars on it. You wanted to see who was on it. And a lot of them were super hot chicks that weren't wearing a whole lot of clothes. And the Wolf will concur with me here. Phyllis Davis would appear on the Love Boat and sometimes wear a bikini. So, yeah, I soon will be making another run, if you know what I mean. Promises something for everyone. Terry Nee says, my wife's Valentine gift is a week in Florida next week. Best gift ever, empty house for me. You gave her a trip out of town by herself. That's a great trip. The fancy dinner, overrated or underrated? Coach Mike Rodick says, I miss Love Boat and Fantasy Island. Well, there may also be a Fantasy Island in our future on the Tom Gulley Show. Who knows? Who knows? The fancy dinner. The Wolf says, if the dinner is me eating 2 Gutbuster pizzas, underrated. I'm going to go ahead and just put that as underrated because that is a fancy dinner for the Wolf and any of his lady loves. Terry Nee says, had to be decent writing back then to fill in the terrible acting. See, Terry, am of the other school of thought, which meant the acting had to be great because the writing was so bad. But I think we can meet in the middle. Reasonable people can disagree. Gene1313 says, the fancy dinner is overrated. You got to get reservations in like September. You got to pick just the right place. It can't be a chain, even if it's an upscale chain like Ruth's Chris. You got to do everything like that. Towns says some word that involves numbers in it is underrated. I have no idea what he's talking about. I certainly know that's not one of our items tonight on the Valentine's Day themed episode of the Tom Gulley Show's Overrated, Underrated, but maybe it should have been. Maybe it should have been. Coach Mike Rodick says, I like the way you roll, Wolf. Fancy dinner, according to the coach, overrated. Overrated. Fancy dinner. You got the arrogant, snobby waiter that comes over. You got the hostess in the front that acts like, you're going into Fort Knox or something. She looks down her list and the whole thing. You got the one guy that's arguing with them about the fact that he called and he made a reservation, but it's not on their list. And you know for a fact, as does your date and his date, that he didn't make a reservation. He's just, trying to make it look good. And she's the hostess going, oh, well, if you'll just go wait in the bar, I'll see if something opens up. And he's like, yeah, right. We're going to be in the bar for like 2 hours till the very end of the night when something opens up. But then again, he's thinking maybe if I can get enough drinks in this girl for 2 hours, we can slop our way through some appetizers. I can cart her home. Anyway, Terry Nee says, I considered it giving her her favorite wine. I want to go somewhere warm. The coach says, if I have to put on a Tuesday to eat, I'd rather not. Yeah. Sounds like the name of a prog band. What? Fancy dinner? Fancy dinner. See him at the Vogue. Overrated or underrated? We're getting ready to close the voting. If you have an opinion, then speak now or forever hold your peace. Town says, I paid for a woman's meal once for her to throw it up in the bathroom because she had anxiety. Did you say, do you know how much that costs? Should they knock off, a few dollars off the bill if the meal is not contained within her body for at least 30 minutes? Coach said it's supposed to be a tie. Stupid autocorrect. Yes, if you have to put on a tie to eat, you'd rather not. Wear a turtleneck. It's mysterious. It's European. Terry Nee says, what kind of dish is anxiety? It's kind of like a twice baked potato. It's the twice eaten creme brulee. You taste it twice. All right, overrated or underrated, you, the viewers of the Tom Gulley Show, have deemed the fancy schmancy dinner to be overrated. I banish you, you photo of the fancy dinner. I banish you forever. By the way, just a reminder to like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all those very free things you can do only cost you a click. to help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm. Plus, we do have the super chats. We do have the memberships, which would be a lovely Valentine's Day gift for someone. And it helps pay the bills around here. Plus the fact that we do have gifted memberships. And you can tell how to turn on your gifted memberships right in the bottom there, right in the scroll crawly thing. You can do that. Some people do it. Some people give them out. So Dupa is laughing and turning green. Wolf says Valentine's Day is a dish best served cold. Oh, seafood. Because you see food. We mean when she upchucks, when she feeds the cat, feeds the fish, does the Technicolor yawn. Yeah. Unswallows. I always like unswallows. That's a pretty good one. Terry Nee, very graciously and with a Valentine's Day red box for the super sticker, has given 99 cents. Shattering our nightly goal of any amount of money, and of course showing the deep love and affection he has for me. So thank you, Terry. Towns has joined the show. He is a new member of the program. Everybody, come on, put some hands together, give him a little congrats. Incidentally, Terry Nee, for that 99 cents, you receive the point. The most coveted of designations for humans on Earth. Towns, also, I'm going to take this down just so you don't think the point I gave Terry Nee is a point for you. You get your own point for becoming a member. What the hell? It's Valentine's Day. I'm slinging love around here like eggs in a short order cook's kitchen. People saying hi. Terry Nee says, my dog always eats the cat's puke. Well, if that doesn't say Valentine's Day love, I don't know what does. You know, the dog eats worse stuff than that, including his own puke. So people saying hi to Towns and welcoming Towns on board. Thank you, Towns, for joining. Terry Nee has made yet another person unswallow. Unswallow is my favorite vomit description. There, I used to have a bunch, like a list. There's feed the fish, shoot the cat, Technicolor yawn, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Let's see. Terry Nee says, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place. Welcome, Towns. The Wolf says, that is a thoughtful dog. He doesn't want food to go to waste. That's true. Oh, Rumpled Trenchcoat is here. We love it that he's here. If you haven't checked out Rumpled Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast here on YouTube, you need to. Now, you're going to have to watch an episode of Columbo. I recommend going to the Rumpled Trenchcoat YouTube channel, seeing the title of an episode. Don't watch it. Just see the title. Run over to, I think it's Tubi or one of them, and then watch that episode for free, and then listen to the episode back. Anyway, it's a whole Valentine's Day thing, and I think instead of some of these other traditions that we're going over here tonight and overrated, underrated, doing all of that is something that should be a Valentine's Day tradition. Matter of fact, never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. It's a little inappropriate. But, and Rumple's sister, who does not come into the chat room here, oh yeah, she'll appear on the show, but she doesn't come into the chat. She's a looker. Anyway, people saying hi. Town says, I love you all more than the blood in my veins. That is high praise indeed. People saying happy Valentine's Day to Rumpled. People saying hi. People saying thanks. Terry Nee says the cat usually just ate the cat food, so... Rumble says Tubi has Columbo free with commercials. Amazon Prime has it if you're already a member. Dupa says, Towns, I love you more than my cerebrospinal fluid. Sorry. A lot of love in this room. And cat vomit. For a second. Then the dog... Item number 5 tonight on Overrated, Underrated. Oh, let's see here. Wolf says, Code, if you go through Firefox, you can avoid those commercials. The Wolf always has a way to avoid commercials. And he's going to give it a try. Item number 5 tonight on Overrated, Underrated is Cupid. Now, the legend, of course, that Cupid shoots you with his arrow. Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow, straight to my lover's heart for me. Nobody but me. Towns is saying something here that I can't put on the screen, and that's actually not evident. She's just pretty. We just shoulders up, man. That's all we got, Terry says, I love you more than my epididymis. Excuse me, the epididymis. Rumple says, Cupid is overrated. Guy keeps missing the target. Well, he has in mind. And is he a guy? Cupid overrated. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's overrated. Dupa says overrated. You know what's really overrated? Me trying to find an image of Cupid that's a statue or a famous painting or any of the other sort of old antiquity things where Cupid's junk isn't hanging out. I found this one. I'm going to call that a shadow. Terry Nee says Cupid is underrated for reasons that we really have not been able to ascertain. But I'm telling you what, it must have taken me a half an hour to find this. It was either this or a toy. I didn't want to use the toy. So this was the only royalty-free thing that I could find where Cupid's junk was not full on out on display. I wouldn't do that to you. I really wouldn't. Cupid overrated. Cubert was more fun. Overrated, he says. He says murder, he says. Terry Nee says kids with bows and arrows are adorable. I corrected all the grammatical errors, Terry. Don't worry about it. They really are. So, yeah. We've got one underrated. The rest are overrated. We're going to have to close the voting here soon. But I'm telling you what. I'd click on a thumbnail for Cupid and bam! I was assaulted by Cupid junk. There was Cupid genitalia all over the place. Gene1313 says, Cupid is overrated. Always glad to have you here, Gene. Terry Nee says, sorry, Mike Morse. Hey, let me tell you something about Mike Morse. And I normally don't comment on these things regarding the Dabbleverse. And I like Mike Morse. I think he's talented. I think he's funny. But grammatically speaking, a lot of the things he says when he does his grammar hammer bit are not grammatically correct. There's a thing that Mike is apparently unaware of in grammar called usage. And he many times, I'm just saying. One of us is a professional writer. I know he writes things. I don't think his things are representing large international and multi-international corporations and put through proofreaders and legal Good point, Terry. Good point. By the way, brilliant man. But I bet you if I went through haha history, I could find a grammatical error. Just saying. But brilliant, funny man. Julian Caesar says, under. I'm just having a little, it's just some good-natured ribbing. Julian Caesar says, under. How else can you explain something as absurd as romantic love? Ooh, Julian Caesar getting philosophical here. I like that. Doopa-doopa-doo says, Julian, you're a funny man. Tom's a word, Nazi's Nazi. I would prefer to be referred to as a grammarian. You know? Towns says, I think that's a cherub. Well, Towns, you might, that's really a pretty good observation, except when you look at the feet of this particular cherub, there is a quiver of arrows. And if you look at the right hand of this particular cherub, it is holding an arrow, which it appears to be poised to hurled at the heart of the lovelorn. Doopa-doopa-doo says Grammar Wars 2025. I don't think there's a war here. I'm just saying. And incidentally, there are things that are grammatically correct, but they are not best usage or best practice. In the words of Orson Welles, this is only correct because it's grammatical. Which is basically him saying, look, just because this is grammatically correct doesn't mean it's the best way to write this sentence. There's a certain amount of artfulness. There was one really bad one. I almost called in, except they don't have a thing for that. Gene1313, don't trust fat kids with wings. Wolf says, are you calling Tom a chocolate lover's lover? I'm not crazy about chocolate. I really am not. And Peter Pan is Pan. I think that's probably correct as well. Oops, I skipped one. Is that Cupid cherub playing darts? I have never seen anybody show up at a dart with the quiver. The little case I've seen, but Rubble Trenchcoat says, ending a sentence with a preposition, underrated. I would agree. Julian Caesar says, if MS Word says the grammar is fine, isn't that good enough? No. MS Word is actually standardizing the use of grammar, and it's not standardizing it in a good way. There are certain words and certain phrases that MS Word will say, that's bad, don't use it. And Grammarly does the same thing, although Grammarly is very good. I do have to admit, Grammarly is much better. But you don't want rules. You want a style guide. You want a guide. You want the writer to be able to select what's being done in order to create the expression. Anyway, by the way, Mike Morse's Grammar Hammer thing, correct the vast majority of the time. But there are some times. I write good too, says Terry Nee. Well, I know where you went to college, so. Terry Nee says, kid looks like X, Elon's kid. I thought his kid's name was Ibuprofen. The Wolf says, I see you all done good. Okay, we're going down that path. I don't want to go down that path, so let's just go ahead. I ran Emily Dickin's poems through MS Word. It exploded. If you want to make a catch on fire and explode, run the E.E. Cummings poems through there. That'll really do it. That'll really be a kick in the cannolis for you. Item number 5 tonight on Overrated, Underrated. Cupid has been deemed overrated. Overrated. Which brings us to item number 6 on this very special Valentine's Day Tom Gulley Show overrated, underrated theme of love. Item number 6 is dancing Oh, yeah, gotta go out dancing. Gotta do some dancing. Can't be hoedown dancing. Can't be square dancing. Gotta be some fancy schmancy, wear a tux or a really expensive suit and evening dress with the thigh, the thing that makes the thigh show. You know what I mean? You gotta have that kind of dancing. By the way, and you guys know I don't talk about other shows for the most part. But I do really like the guys over at the Shuli Network. They're all really great guys. They're all very talented guys. Does the dude on the right not look like Shuli? Does that not look like him? Well, I thought that when I did this. The only reason you know it's not Shuli is that the woman is shorter than him. And I don't know that they make people shorter than... But anyway... He's another very talented man. Towns says, love to me. Thank you, Towns. Right back at you. Rumble Trenchcoat says, dancing is underrated. Oh, boy. Okay. Way over the line. I don't know what that means. I'm not trying to, The Wolf says, well, that depends on the lady. Well, that could be true as well. Town says, yes, he definitely looks Jewish. Well, I'm not saying he looks Jewish. I'm just saying he looks like Shuli. Rumple Trenchcoat says, I think the guy on the right looks a little more like Zenhauser and Shuli blended with AI. I could buy that. Who's on the left? Who is that? Is that... that can't be Mike. Anyway. Julian Zezer says those two look like their dancing is underrated. I do have to say that. Those two look like they could, as we say in Indiana, cut a rug. Gene1313 says underrated. I do have to tell you. I would like, and if I can have a relationship that lasts longer than 3 weeks, this is going to happen. I would like to meet a gal that wants to learn how to do that ballroom dancing. I would love to learn how to do that. And then, yes, go out in the tux or the nice clothes and just have everybody there go, oh, look at those two dance. Because as the Wolf will tell you, even though I'm 6'5", excuse me, I do have quick feet. I'm athletic, wiry. I'm explosive. But I do. I've got the moves like Jagger. Everybody knows it. Dupas says underrated. Professional dancers are some of the best athletes. Gene Kelly and Ginger Rogers. Nicholas Brothers. Oh, the Nicholas Brothers. Amazing. What do they say about Ginger Rogers? She had to do everything Fred Astaire did, only backwards and in hails. Hey-o. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is, 6. Right. Okay. Oh, there's another one. Boom. Underrated. Rumble Trenchcoat says, obviously the one on the left is Mike Morse. Well, the hair's a little dark, but the sideburns are long enough. Doopa Doopa is laughing at Rumple. The Wolf says, if she's smoking, I'm in. Underrated. There we go, Wolf. There we go. And Wolf, we grew up in a time of dancing. None of this, electronic dance house music or any of that. We grew up with no parking, baby. No parking on the dance floor. If you don't get a move on your body, I'll be forced to get you a ticket. So get funky. I mean, we used to shake our groove thing, for crying out loud. Rumble Trenchcoat says, lol dupa, Mike always looks better whenever an AI female version of him is made. Yes. Terry Nee says, I would love for you to dip me, Tom. How tall are you, Terry? I do a great dip. I do a great twirl. I am a really good dancer. You wouldn't believe it, but I am. Wolf says, I've done it all. Well, the Wolf just picks the girl up and, does whatever he wants. I have, if they play Modern Love by David Bowie, I'm dancing. Look out, people. I'm dancing. That's all there is to it. Item number 6 tonight on Overrated, Underrated is, of course, Terry is 6'3". That might be a problem. But I can do it. I can do it. At any rate, item number 6 tonight on Overrated, Underrated is dancing, and it is underrated. And the other thing is you get to be close to the other person. There's some touching going on. You're not groping. I'm not saying you make that too soon grab for a, but it's very sensual. It is sensual. And sensual is the appetizer to love. Charm is really the appetizer to love, but it's... Terry says, I think we're simpatico. I think so too. The two move is one out on the dance floor. Holy smokes, says the wolf. We used to have dances in our dormitory with the gals. I'd get out there. I remember when I was a freshman, the very first time I went dancing at the dormitory, a very attractive African-American lady who obviously was an upperclassman came out and grabbed me and said, let's dance, white boy. Yeah. I was wearing a bandana tied around and a suit jacket. I was cool. I was very cool that night. What's the best way to lay a woman down? Well, whatever way that is, you would have Conway Twitty's Lay Me Down playing in the background. Terry says it's chloroform. Chloroform. Overrated, underrated deems dancing as underrated. Underrated. Sporting the Fred from Scooby-Doo look. No, it was cooler than that. It's a suit jacket and a bandana, and some jeans that I had splattered with bleach, and then probably some indoor soccer shoes, and I probably had a Sex Pistols F Forever t-shirt on underneath the suit jacket. You could get away with that back then. Billy Joel did it, Letterman did it, the suit jacket with the tennis shoes and stuff. It was a better time, folks. It was a better time. Finally, our last item number 7 tonight on Overrated, Underrated. Now, we've taken you through the full journey. The flowers, the candy, the jewelry, the fancy dinner. Cupid himself, the fancy dancing. And the only way to pay off an evening like this, the only way to really express your affection, the only way to open the door that is the entryway to the act of physical love is only one thing. Yes, it's Barry White. Barry White. Barry White. Our final item tonight on Overrated, Underrated Special Valentine's Day themed edition. Barry White. As I used to say when I was a DJ at King's Corner, the big dance club in Muncie, Indiana, while I was in college, if you go home alone, you can't blame Barry White. Boom! Barry White. Rick D's Gully. That's right. Oh, yes. Rumpled says, this one's a gimme. Underrated. You got to provide her with liquor. Liquor. Somebody always spiked the punch. The Palmer Hall dance mixer. Sock hop. Call it what you will. Dance with me, white boy. And I said, "You've got it, sister. I'm just a light-skinned brother," I think is what I said. And she laughed and we danced and she said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "I'm from Carmel. Where are you from?" And she said, "I'm from Gary." Anyway, Barry Nee says, Barry Nee. Yeah, tonight he is Barry Nee. Terry Nee says, Barry White has caused so many pregnancies. You take that back. You take that back. All right. Barry White overrated. I don't understand how. Gene says he helped make most of the babies in the 70s. You're damn right he did. You'll never find. Now that's for Lou Rawls. Lou Rawls was somewhat complicit, but Barry Baby Boom White. Yes. Yes. Can't get enough of your love, baby. My God. Dooba-dooba-doo Barry White or playing Barry White for a woman? Well, I say both. It's even better if you are Barry White. I mean, it's a done deal. But if you're playing Barry White for a lady, yes, I think Dupa, just the whole Barry White-ness. I mean, I think with some women you could just mention Barry White. Hey, I got some Barry White back up in the dorm room. Oh, okay. He ain't B.B. King. Well, B.B. King's songs many times did not express love for a woman. Thrill is gone. Thrill is gone away. Thrill is gone. Barry was singing the blues. I mean, I'm sorry, B.B. was singing the blues. Barry was singing, can't get enough of your love, baby. Wolf is laughing. People saying hi, I guess. Terry Nee says, my pastor buddy gave a sermon of don't expect abstinence if you're going to put on Barry White. And it's the truth. Okay. Okay, we're talking dorm room. Underrated. Not just dorm room, apartment, house. Barry White's powers, no geography. Do you guys remember on the very first nighttime David Letterman show, he had a recurring sketch that was called Camping with Barry White? If you don't remember that, look it up on YouTube. You will laugh your hiney. Yeah, hiney. I said it. Hiney. You'll laugh your hiney off. You really will. There's another underrated. You people are coming to your senses finally. Finally coming to your senses. Barry White, are you kidding me? Barry freaking White. I mean, are you kidding me? You get a little Barry White working and it's over with, man. It's the deal is sealed. Barry White. Come on. Not even close. Not even close. Never gonna give you up. You're the first. You're the first. You're the last. You're the last. My everything. Can't get enough of your love. Come on, man. Baby's home. I got so much love to give. I'm gonna love you just a little more, baby. Come on, man. You're the one I need. Please. Your sweetness is my weakness. You guys, come on. Let me live my life loving you, babe. Baby, we better try to get together. Come on. You turn my whole world around. It's only love doing its thing. Come on. You guys, come on. Barry White. Hey, don't take my word for it. Try it. Uh-oh, Rumpled Trenchcoat, thank you so much for the $5 on this very special Valentine's Day. Pushing the envelope by saying Heine on the show. Well, you know, I had to pull out all the stops because it is, of course, Valentine's Day. Why does it keep sending me this notifications about the Mahjong game I play? Oh, by the way, Rumpled Trenchcoat, as you know, for that very, very generous $5 donation, you have received the point. And I'm even, because it's Valentine's Day, going to take off the banner and give you what we call the full point. The full, unvarnished, unexpurgated point. Okay, now I'm going to put it back. And now I'm going to get Barry White back up here. And there we go. Come on. Come on. Be good to Daddy. Barry White, going once, going twice. Let's get to your comments here. There might be some more votes. Don't forget about Isaac Baldy. You mean Isaac Hayes? Just talk about Shaft, and we can dig it. Terry Nee is laughing. Rumpled is laughing. The Wolf says, Coat, I know a kid that has that for a name. Chuck Berry was way better. Well, it's two different things. I'm not going to disparage Chuck Berry. And he did sing My Ding-a-Ling, which with the right girl could be effective. Trailer park somewhere. Nick Heine. Yeah, I said it. Heine. I don't like to use that kind of language, but it is, after all, Valentine's Day. And Terry Nee says, thanks, Rumple. I'm off next week. You're going to Florida with your wife, aren't you? He talks tough, but he's sweet on that old gal. Can't fool me. Rumple Trenchcoat says, his name was Heine? I bet that kid grew up to be very tough. He probably did. Okay, guys. Going once. Going twice. Going 3 times. Yes, Mr. Oh, let's see here. Dupas says, Chuck Berry was a creep. Great musician, but a creep. Well, he also drove around in his car everywhere. He wouldn't take flights and stuff. He just drove around in that car. Coat, he's a genius. He is. Nick Heine. Okay. Barry White has been deemed by you, viewers of the Tom Gulley Show, on the last item tonight on our Valentine's Day 2025 edition of Overrated, Underrated. Barry White, underrated. And this is my favorite Barry White, the one that's sweating while he's singing. And the mic's real close, and you can see he's got that handkerchief there that he uses to daub or dab the sweat, but that means that he means it. And also that he likes food. You know, all this Barry White talks makes me want to listen to Chuck Berry. Well, you got to listen to Barry White too. It's just alternate. See what it does for you. Just alternate. This is the Tom Gulley Show symbol for alternate. Anyway, well, that's our entire overrated, underrated reviewing. Because I do that now. Because flowers overrated, candy underrated, jewelry underrated, dinner overrated, Cupid overrated, dancing underrated, and Mr. Barry White also underrated. That's our final box score. Terry Nee says, and overweighted as well as underrated. All this Barry White talk makes me want to listen to Al Green. Oh, guys, did you notice on the community page for the Tom Gulley Show, did you notice who was one of the top listeners to Al Green on all of YouTube a couple months ago? Did you? Damn skippy I was. I have all the Al Green. Yeah. Love is a walk down Main Street. Oh, love. Love is an apple that is so sweet. L-O-V-E, it's strange to me. I can't explain this feeling. Can't you see that? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Enough of that. Hey, why don't we open up the phone lines a little bit here? I'm not expecting much, but what the hey? It's Valentine's Day. I'm super hungry. I'm not going to no fancy dinner. I don't have Valentine's Day plans. I've got a gal that wants to talk to me this weekend, and she's going to text me when it's a good time. You can't tell me when's a good time right now. You just... Women. Incidentally, if I match with a lady on one of those dating things, and we're having the little chat, I make it explicit that I will not text with them. I won't text back and forth. Most of them have the speech thing where you can just record a message, you know, and I'll go, well, we should talk. I'd love to talk. That'd be great. Well, tell me a time when you're available, and I will either talk to you through the app so you don't have to give up your phone number because you're a lady and privacy and all. Or you can give me your phone number. I'll give you mine, and I'll call you. And if they don't do that, then I just unmatch with them. Or if they do that, and I just said do, and we say like Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I call them and I get their voicemail, unmatch. You're done. You name the time. You stood me up on a phone call. Sometimes they call back, oh, I'm so sorry. I had this happen, that. Well, you weren't considerate. You didn't text me and say, hey, I know we said 2 o'clock. Could you make it 3? I had somebody drop by at the last second, or one of my kids has stubbed his toe, or, you know, because one of my kids needed a spiral-bound notebook, or whatever. By the way, phone lines are open at 972-994-6822 if you care to call in. I know it's not very Valentine's Day-ish, but that's what happens. That's what happens. By the way, I'm wearing red for Valentine's Day. Because I care. I really do. Many people believe that Valentine's Day is nothing but a marketing gimmick to sell flowers and candy and jewelry and dinner and Cupid and dancing and Barry White. That's what a lot of people think. Am I one of them? Well, if you say that, then you have to throw Mother's Day and Father's Day into that, don't you? All the non-religious holidays, and don't give me the thing where St. Valentine is actually a religious, because yes, is a saint, but look into that dude's background, like St. Patrick. Not quite what we've made it out to be here in modern times. Oh boy. I hope that everyone here has Valentine's plans for either tonight or the weekend, because I think it's valid to say, hey, Friday night I'm busy, or I'm tired, or I'm work, or let's do it Saturday. Let's do it Sunday. See, I think Saturday is the best dating night. Once you're in a relationship and you've met a few times, that's the best night, because you've got the whole day. You could, if you want to make a day of it, but Friday after the work week, and you're just dog tired, and no. I also have a thing where the first time I meet someone, I want to meet them at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to meet them at a restaurant or a bar restaurant when it's 2 in the afternoon. When the place is kind of empty, we're not fighting for a waitress. We can sit, we can relax. There's no pressure. The traffic's good. The wolf beckoning. on Valentine's Day. Come on, Dupa, call Tom. It's Valentine's Day. Rumpled Trenchcoat says the Coats had a nice little Valentine's celebration tonight. I was going to say that I think Rumpled Trenchcoat probably is kind of a romantic guy. He probably is also a dancer. He's a guy that likes to dance. So there you are. Does a podcast with his sister. She's a looker, too, by the way. That's what we used to call him in the neighborhood. She's a looker. Which is a compliment. A very appropriate and not disrespectful compliment. So, yeah. And she's smarter than me. I also require that. It's they call that sapio, something. Anyway, wow, the room count has really dropped here. Like a shot duck. Oh, it went back up just now. 2 people. Woo! Now we're cooking. It was way up there for a while. We peaked, I think, around Fancy Dinner. It went down for Cupid. It went back up for dancing. So. All right, kids. What do we got here? 73 Caddy Daddy 93 has joined us. Hello. Welcome. Happy St. Valentine's Day to you. Incidentally, 73 Caddy memberships to the Tom Gulley Show are only $2.99. Valentine's Day, the perfect time to get yourself something special. There are super chats. There are memberships. Because we need to pay the bills around here. But welcome. Everybody welcome 73 Caddy Daddy 93. And then, of course, turn on your gifted memberships. All right. Rumpled Trenchcoat says, I'm a romantic, but to be honest, I dance because Mrs. Coat likes to dance, and I like to make her happy. And Rumpled Trenchcoat told me one time, happy wife, happy life. And I said, happy girlfriend, if you don't have to go out of your way. If it's not an effort. If you don't have to really, okay, if I was doing it anyway, fine. Happy girlfriend. Rumpled Trenchcoat is laughing. There we are. It's fabulous. We like that. Rumpled Trenchcoat, of course, a Columbo podcast available right here on YouTube or wherever fine podcasts are sold. Look, go to Rumpled Trenchcoat, Columbo Podcast, get the name of an episode, run over to Tubi, see that episode, watch the whole thing, and then listen to the recap on Rumpled Trenchcoat. That is the prescribed maximum way to do it. That's the way you want to do it. That's the way it needs to be done. By God, covers quick and no excuses. What do we got here? I've got about 2 more minutes of open phone lines, and then we're out of here. Monday night on the Tom Gulley Show, The Love Boat. We will be covering The Love Boat. In addition, there's a good chance there's going to be a members-only show this weekend. A members-only show. The Wolf says he's in season 2, and it's easy to be in seasons with Columbo because it rotated with McLeod, McMillan and wife, Heck Ramsey, or whatever. And so it's not like watching a series where, gosh, if it was in the 60s, there'd be 35, 34, 32 episodes. And then as time went along, there were 26. And then as time went along, there was 22. For Columbo, you've got, 6, 5, some cases? Rumpled Trenchcoat can tell us. 73 Caddy Daddy 93 says, I love Barry White's music. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 And to my darling, you're the only one meant for two. You're my reality. You're my first, you're my first, you're my last, my everything. First season 9, then 8. Okay, whatever. Let's not make a big thing out of it, okay? Let's just not make a big thing out of it. Rumpled will know the actual numbers. I mean, I trust you, but I believe Rumpled Trenchcoat. If your screen name, Wolf, was Rumpled Kim Warfield, then I would believe you, but it's not. It's a Rumpled Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast. Seasons had from 5 to 8 episodes. Very limited, but so good. Hey, sometimes less is more. 73 Caddy Daddy 93 says, Tom's going to make me step out on my wife on Valentine's Day with his singing. Well, I'm sorry, I'll stop. Although love, exciting and new. Come aboard, we're expecting you. And love won't hurt anymore. It's a friendly smile. Is it a friendly smile on an open shore? No, it's an open smile on a friendly shore. The Tom Gulley Show soon will be making another run. The Tom Gulley Show promises something for everyone. Swing, swing. I hope the room count dropped because everybody's going out for Valentine's Day. Rubble Trenchcoat says, man, the Love Boat was a great way for those aging movie stars to get their SAG updated. In more ways than one. They had SAG. They just needed it updated. And also all the sitcom stars and people that played very distinct characters would be on there and actually get to do some acting. Also, a lot of sports stars, a lot of musicians. You really didn't need much acting chops to be on the Love Boat. And the Love Boat was festooned with hot. Barbie Benton was on like every week. It seemed like sometimes. But Wolf knows as well as I, Phyllis Davis on the Love Boat. And by the way, the Love Boat would pair up like Phyllis Davis with Artie Johnson or somebody. It was always, what? She would never, not with him. You got to see like the lady from Little House on the Prairie, who you only saw in that gingham dress in a log cabin, in an evening dress, being a regular person. It was amazing. Wolf says, I'm researching the sports cars they use. Okay. 73 Caddy Daddy 93 says, SAG took on a new meeting with those aging stars. Yes. Yes. When Ann Baxter would come on the show, or Hermione Gingold, Kabumble. What was that? Anyway, we'll cover it all Monday night when we do the Love Boat. When we cover the Love Boat here on the Tom Gulley Show. At any rate, well, I'm looking at that old clock on the wall, and like the Reverend Al Green, I'm going to have to get on up out of here. Now, you do not have to go home, but you cannot stay here. Oh, wait, let me close this particular piece of software. But you can't stay here. And with all that being said, I think there's there's two things that need to be said. I hope you have a joyous Valentine's Day and that you do find and experience and celebrate the love in your life. We'll be back in 2 and 2. Love Connection. Now, there was a show. And till next time. We'll see you next time.